Hey everybody, welcome back to Listography. I'm Jason, and today we are going to do something a little bit different on the channel, something I haven't done before, and I've been thinking about doing it for a long time. I'm going to share with you a few records from my collection. A lot of the people that I talked to on YouTube and the people that really took to my channel early on were mostly part of a group or community on YouTube called the VC, which for anybody who doesn't know is the vinyl community, because I was in communication with these people and seemed to be watching each other's videos a lot. A lot of them would ask me why I didn't show vinyl on my channel, and they asked, if I had vinyl and, what my preferred method of music consumption was. So I thought I'd use this video to sort of explain that a little bit and then show a few records as well. And if this is something that people are interested in, it might be something that I continue to do every so often whenever I feel like I've got some good stuff to show. So first of all, I was born into a house with a ton of records in it. My dad collected records. I don't know exactly how many he had, but probably 1,500 to 2,000. Lots of good classic rock, pretty much all the classic rock you could really want. So that's where I sort of started getting into music at a very young age, was through that collection. And we would go to record shows together and buy up a bunch of records. We'd hit the dollar bin and come home with a stack of 20 to 50 records. So a lot of the records that I bought throughout my childhood and teens just sort of got put into his collection. It was kind of just one big family collection. Then as I got older, I started working in a music store and, ended up buying a ton of CDs, and I had a really big CD collection, but I also started getting some vinyl, a lot of newer vinyl actually, and that stuff I would keep to the side just as my own personal collection. And then cut to a few years later when I moved out of the house, that was the stuff that I took with me. Now I think pretty much the collection that was a combination of my dad's stuff and my stuff has kind of, I think, at this point pretty much been absorbed into my brother's collection, who has a really great collection of records that I'm pretty envious of. At this point, I just have maybe a couple hundred records, but I think there's some pretty cool stuff in it. My CD collection, which was probably over 2,000 CDs as well, I left at my mom's house. So I've gone from having thousands and thousands of physical media down to a couple hundred records, and I mostly listen to streaming services when I listen to music, although I'm still very much a vinyl enthusiast. Definitely my preferred method is to listen to vinyl, but I live in a fairly small apartment with a lot of neighbors in close proximity, so it just makes a lot more sense, and it's a lot easier as far as space and stuff goes to just stream music when I can. But I definitely, would really like to re-expand my collection someday, maybe when we get a house. So the first record I'm going to show is the electronic anthology project of Dinosaur Jr. This is a record that was made for Record Store Day in 2012 by a guy named Brett Nelson, who is in Built to Spill. He was a big fan of 80s kind of synth pop and new wave stuff, and he kind of wondered what it would be like if someone made a record of covers by a guitar band in the style of that sort of 80s new wave. So he started doing a Built to Spill project. He released that, and then he moved on and did Dinosaur Jr., and actually had Jay Mascis come in. He re-sang all the vocals to all these classic Dinosaur Jr. tracks done in this sort of 80s new wave style. And it is really, really cool, really good. The quality of Record Store Day releases can sometimes be hit or miss, but this is a really good one. Not much in the way of packaging. Simple purple cover with black lettering, just a white paper sleeve. It is on nice, clear purple vinyl though. Pretty cool. Something that I would recommend for anyone into Dinosaur Jr., or even if you're not into Dinosaur Jr. and you like really catchy synth pop stuff, I think you'd really like this as well. The second record I want to show today is by Sloan. It's called Never Hear the End of It. This came out in 2006, and Sloan are one of my favorite bands, and this is my favorite record by them. I think it is a power pop masterpiece. It's a double album, 30 tracks spread over the 4 sides. All 4 members in this band write, all 4 sing, kind of like the Canadian Beatles in a way. If there's any Canadians watching, I'm sure they're aware of them and probably aware of this record, but Americans may or may not know this band. If you don't know them, highly recommend if you like really, really catchy pop rock. The artwork for this is really cool. I like the pink. Nice, got a nice gatefold cover as well. The 4 members there. Kind of a, black and white photo that they colorized. And then I've got the Chris Murphy autograph on there as well. I drove from Pittsburgh to Cleveland to see them. I bought this at one of their shows, and that's how I got Chris to sign it. But then a couple years later, a band I was in actually got to open for them when they played in Pittsburgh, so that was really cool. Again, just white paper sleeves on this one, black vinyl, but it does come with a nice fold-out with all the lyrics and extremely small print. Next, I'm going to go with something a little bit older. This is the self-titled record from Emitt Rhodes. This was one of my Album of the Year picks for 1970. Again, very kind of power poppy, Beatles-esque, McCartney-esque. This one's got a gatefold. It says, produced by Emitt Rhodes, recording engineer Emitt Rhodes, all instruments, vocals, and arrangements by Emitt Rhodes, all songs composed by Emitt Rhodes. So this is one of those sort of, one-man band, kind of one guy does everything. Just a fantastic songwriter and musician, and kind of a sad tale. He kind of got screwed over by his record labels, I think, so not someone a ton of people know about. I don't know if anyone will be able to see this here. There's a little stamp there in the runoff. There's a kind of like fancy banner, and it says, recorded at home. Apparently, from what I've read, they couldn't put that on the actual record sleeve because the major labels at the time had deals with all of the recording studios and with the unions, the recording engineers, where they were required to use the studios for any of the releases. And he just did this himself, so instead of putting it on the sleeve, they put it on the record itself. Next up, I'm going to go with Bob Dylan, MTV Unplugged. Great record. Not super rare, but not something that, you see every day either. So I thought it would be cool to show. This is a double record as well. Unfortunately, not a gatefold. You do have, lyrics on the inner sleeve. This came out in 1995, and I think the song selection is pretty interesting. There's some old stuff like Tombstone Blues and The Times They Are A-Changin', Desolation Row, but also he does Shooting Star from Oh Mercy. Great track listing. I think this is one of the better MTV Unplugs. All right, and the last record I'm going to show today is my most recent vinyl purchase, which is Waxahatchee's new record called St. Cloud. Just a back cover with the track listing on her arm. Waxahatchee, of course, is the name that Katie Crutchfield releases records under. I talked about this on a staff picks, and then I talked about it again when we did our best of 2020 so far. I just think it's a really great record, and any excuse that I can find to talk about it. Comes with a big poster. The inner sleeve has got another picture of her. Lyrics. And it's on black vinyl on Merge Records. Really good record, kind of indie folk rock with a little bit of kind of a punk or DIY aesthetic as well, although that side of her music has been toned down a little bit on this record compared to her previous. Just great songs. Can't recommend this one enough. So that does it for my first record sharing video. Let me know if you liked it, if you want to see more of this kind of content. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notifications, and keep an eye out. We got some more great content coming up this week. We've got listography of the Pretenders, gonna do our ranking of all their records, do our top 10 songs, and for our third Pretenders video, we're gonna talk about the best debut albums of all time, and then on Friday, we've got the best albums of the year for 1975 coming up. Also in the pipeline, we've got Simon and Garfunkel listographies and Bruce Springsteen. Lots of good stuff coming. We will see you then.